got 3 bags of Cheetos, some blue Powerade. It's like it's 1997 and I'm 12 years old again, or however old I was in 1997. 9 years old again. This is Second Shift Lunch. Jay and I are taking a break from our normal responsibilities here at the EXP to hang out with you, talk about a bunch of stuff happening in the news of nerd culture, a bunch of stuff happening here at the EXP, take your questions, answer your questions, do all of that, and catch you up on some of the dumb stuff we're watching on television. So hang out. It's going to be a good time. What's up, everybody? Welcome into Second Shift Lunch. I am producer Kyle. That is Jay.
You had it right the first time.
No, I'm right now.
Okay, maybe on my screen you're the other
On
way.
my screen, you're on that side of me.
See?
Right.
Yeah. On my screen it looks like you're pointing that way.
Oh, that's weird. Huh. Interesting. Okay, fine.
There you go. That works.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome in to Second Shift Lunch, where Jay and I are on a break from our normal responsibilities here at the XP, hanging out, answering questions, having some conversations, having a chat, talking about stuff. Now, I learned before the show that Jay is a crazy person and that he doesn't eat like people. So I'm going to have to do enough snacking for all of us here on the Second Shift Lunch. What up, John Stout? So I have, as I said, Cheetos, but like the little bags like you put in your lunch when you pack your lunch for school, like go with peanut butter and jelly. Little bags of Cheetos. And blue is the flavor of the Powerade tonight for Second Shift Lunch. Jay, what is your snack du jour tonight? Ooh, Monster. Guys, this is why Jay never sleeps. I don't know if you noticed this, but Jay will be like up working on stuff at like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
5:30 in the morning. And then like he'll sleep until just before we have to go on the air some days. Because the dude drinks a Monster at 8 o'clock at night his time.
Just flavor now, man. I've been drinking them for years. No energy at all.
Lies. I had to switch to Diet 7-Up at 6:30. True. Unknown, we were talking about you. You had said on another show that you had a question for us. Throw that in the chat, and happy to answer it tonight. Nick, I don't know what that means. Hold on. That's how I see it too, Nick.
Hey, Bigby. And
what up, Bigby?
And John, 7.5 times. I have another half to watch to make it to 8 on Superman. So we can't talk about it. We're going to get to Supergirl before Kyle even sees Superman.
Well, dude, you know how hard it is to leave my house? It sucks. It really does. I want to go, but like, it's really hard to leave the house right now. Like, again, not being able to walk.
Yeah.
You know, having to take the scooter, having to find parking where I can get the scooter out of the car and put it together, and then go into the place. Oh, and it's been like 1.5 billion degrees here with 1,000,000% humidity, so like it's done. Everybody, stay tuned after this show, like because at like 11 o'clock Eastern tonight, whatever time that is, 8 o'clock Pacific. Best Coast Comics with Big B McFly, the comic guy, who's there in the chat. He will be here with the Bronze Age Nerd. I need to ping Big B about something else. Unknown, yeah. Hold on. Unknown, when this is no longer a thing, I will be able to ship everything out. Right now, I can't actually lift the box that everything's in. So I've got to get it all. I've got to find a way to get it all up to be picked up by the mailman. And right now, that is just seemingly a bridge too far. Hopefully, by the end of the week, I will have everything. I will be able to move everything up. But I got to wait until the 13 stitches in the bottom of my foot are not in the bottom of my foot anymore.
And unfortunately, Jay lives in Texas, so I have no help.
Yeah, Jay would have to fly like 13 hours across the country to come and help me. So, yes, I have a bunch of shipments that are ready to go out. I just can't move them. Kind of sucks. I know. I want them to go out. I want them out. I want the hell out of my house. But I also want to be able to like move the product that I have here. Like I've got 4 shorts and 2 longs that I can't lift to move out of here to replace with other shorts and long boxes so that we could turn this back into a live sale, which is what it used to be. Don't get old, everybody.
Yeah.
I may not be chronologically old, but the diseases in the skeletal, man. I'm older than everybody you know combined.
I mean, that's fair. I may not look my age, but I feel 3 times my age.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I may only be 37, but skeletally and muscularly and disease-wise, I'm like 109. So should we start with the news?
Yeah.
From this weekend? Guys, I don't know if you saw this, but WWE announced that they are moving their PLEs, which is what we used to call pay-per-views, over to ESPN Plus. They're going to keep NXT and SmackDown on Peacock, and Raw is, of course, on Netflix. Thoughts? Opinions? I saw somewhere the math. It's going to cost a WWE fan to see every show $2,000 a year now. Mm-hmm. Right, it is ESPN Premium. So the thing about it is, now it's going to cost $2,000 a year. $2,000 a year to watch WWE. When it used to be the WWE Network was $9.99 a month, which was $120 a year. Is anybody still watching this product?
That's so wild to me. You know, it used to be the whole reason you would cut cable was because it was cheaper to have streaming services. But then you have, well, if it was a trilogy, some places it's like 1 and 3 are on this streaming service, but in order to watch 2, you got to go watch this. You got to get this one now. Like WWE is one product. You shouldn't have to get 3 different subscription services to watch everything. That's crazy.
Right. Yep, you got to pay for ESPN Plus and then pay for the pay-per-view. Now, I will say this. I do that with Triller. I have a Triller TV subscription, which is $8 a month. And then I'll pay for pay-per-views for like AAA or New Japan or Maple Leaf Pro or some of the bigger indie promotions. But usually those pay-per-views are $10. So okay, my most expensive month might be $30. And that's for a lot of wrestling. So, something to think about.
Hey, Kenneth. That's like way back in the day when I first learned of TNA. Their Wednesday it was $10 pay-per-views every Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
But for those shows, I was like, $10, I got my $10 worth. I didn't mind paying stuff like that. It's when you get to some of these pay-per-views like WWE where they're $50, $60 a pop, and sometimes they're definitely not worth the $50 or $60 a pop. Like,
Right. So that was TNA, NWA, right?
mm-hmm.
At that era, right? So, by the way, you can watch all that stuff now for free on TNA Plus.
Yep. My goodness, there's.
I'll be honest, man. The $10 a month or whatever you pay for TNA Plus is totally worth it.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's just how many more pluses are we gonna have? Like how many more streaming services can I mean, I shouldn't ask that because there's so many. There's just so many.
It's true. Our local CBS News affiliate now has a plus, WTOL Plus, which is a free streaming service like on Roku where you can get it basically be like going to their YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
watching stuff, but it's catered more specifically. Like they have actual programming, sort of like we have.
Yeah.
On there, and like a lot of their investigative journalism, like they'll do longer segments and put over there that they can't put in the full broadcast news. So that's not so bad. But dumb. How many more pluses do we need?
Yeah. I mean, it sucks because they're for a lot of these things, man. There's one or two shows that I want to check out. Like,
Right.
we don't have Apple Plus, but I'd love to watch Ted Lasso. Like, I'd love to watch that. And the cracking down on the password sharing has stopped a lot of people from getting some of these streams because they're like, you know what? If I can't even share a password with a friend, or I can't get my friend's password or watch it, it's not worth the money you're paying for the one show you want to watch.
What I started doing, and this is the problem with you not eating during the show, by the way. You stop talking right after I take a.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, so like right now I'm paying for Paramount Plus, Dropout, Prime, and Peacock. Well, coming soon with my cable subscription because I have DirecTV Stream, I will get Hulu, ESPN Plus, and Disney Plus for free with my cable subscription. Cool. So I'll have those. I already have HBO through that. So I'll cancel Paramount and I'll add Apple TV back in. And then, oh, well, I want to pick up something else. I'll cancel Prime Video and get that other service. So that's how I usually do it.
Mm.
And this is kind of how a lot of people had handled their unknown. Like, granted, we used to buy the pay-per-views. Like, me and my friends would get the pay-per-views and hang out. And we would watch it on cable. But yeah, generally we weren't directly contributing. We'd go to some shows on occasion. But like, again, we're big wrestling fans. We were going to go to shows one way or the other.
Right.
And when I worked in radio, a lot of the times we got those tickets for free. So, but right, it's one of those things is that I had Peacock, so I would watch the stuff. Now, if it's not on Peacock, I'm out. Speaking of PLEs, though, WWE has announced that it is having a PLE September 20th, which is, I believe, Clash in Paris, which is going to look dumb. It's going to be a dumb pay-per-view. The main event, I believe, is John Cena versus Logan Paul. A heel versus someone everybody wishes would just disappear.
Yeah.
You know. So, but AEW is counter-programming with All Out. All Out 2025 will be at this on the same day. So WWE and AEW are going head-to-head with PLEs that day. Will you watch either? Do you care?
If I was going to watch one over the other, I would probably do AEW. And that's mainly because, you know, I watched WWE for a long time. But it started to get to the point where it's the same guys. Same guys over and over again winning the champion. Like the John Cena thing, aside from him being heel, I've seen this before. This feels like I've seen these matches with him before.
Right. So here's the little trick I did, John and Nope, to get down to a reasonable number. I refused to update my credit card when it expired. Well, no, so my services would like stop.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't paid for. So then I would go to log into one, and it would say, "Oh, you no longer have an account here. You need to update your billing." Okay, great. I don't have that anymore. I'm gonna delete it. You know, and then it got to the point where, okay, these are the ones I want. I'll pay for those and not install the others. So that's how I got down to a reasonable number, is because I just was bad with my finances.
We need to have a Mint Mobile of streaming services.
Someone called Deadpool. Anyway, okay. More comic book news, real fast. We'll jump into, and this is one for Bronze. I really think Bronze is going to dig on this. Announced today, Skybound will reprint key issues of Larry Hama's G.I. Joe Real American Hero. Skybound Image and Hasbro are launching the Hama Files edition, which will reprint key issues of Larry Hama's G.I. Joe Real American Hero. A letter from Hama discussing the background of the comic and offering new insights will be included in each issue. The first issue of the program will be G.I. Joe Real American Hero 26, which is the secret origin of Snake Eyes and his connection to Storm Shadow. The issue will come out on November 26th with cover by Mike Zeck and Bob Wycheck, variant by Chris Mooneyham, and a foil variant of the Zeck Wycheck cover.
And
still are, Nopey. You just got to find it. So what do you guys think? G.I. Joe Real American Hero reprints with the Larry Hama original pages and stuff. Nope, just it doesn't say they're treasury sized. Just says nope, not treasury size, just like editorial sized. So it'll have extra for that extra pages or whatever. It'll be a little thicker than original for the extra pages. Well, that was a big investment there, Unknown. I applaud you for doing that. Personally, I have all these issues the original way. Do I need to spend the money again? Probably will. Just thinking about myself and a little bit selfishness there. I will probably buy all of these again, especially for the foil. Much as I hate foil variants, I probably will. How about you, Jay? Do you have any GI Joe affinity that would lead you down this path?
If nothing else, to read it because it's Larry Hama.
Right.
I never really got into GI Joe comic wise. It's always been the cartoon.
And
So it'd be
knowing
nice though. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd probably check this out just because. Again, he's someone that I enjoy, but you know, this feels like it's a good way to bring in people who haven't like really gotten into GI Joe comics because I mean his Deadpool and Wolverine stuff that he did, fantastic. So I'd probably check it out.
TJ says that was kind of my argument for the 800 variants for books. I buy one, do I need more? I will walk on that one. I have a very opinionated thought on that. That maybe is something we save for a Wednesday night show, right? They wouldn't make them if they didn't sell.
It's true. And
More to it than that, but I'm not gonna.
well, I'll put this on there. See, John, I'm kind of the opposite. I'm good with just an A cover. Like for the absolute stuff, we got the logo foils, and then I would get the A cover. Now, I say that, and then I saw the Matt Fraction Batman that's coming, and looking at that, I'm like, you know what? This might be a time that I buy more than just a logo cover and a regular cover. I'm not usually a variant person. It has to take it like very specific, very special. I usually don't have doubles of my books, but there are sometimes like that with that Batman, that Matt Fraction, the covers they have for that one, I might find myself collecting more than two.
Right. And I think that's going to be how it is for me with that book as well. Depending on how the covers come out, depending on what they look like exactly, depending on how much I'm in love with Fraction's writing.
Yes. The backup
Yeah.
story with and that cover that they did for it. I was mistaken when I was looking through them. I thought each one of these were getting their own book, but the ones that they've announced are backstories in the Batman Daredevil book, or no, Batman Deadpool book.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that, and the cover for that Batman Deadpool looks awesome with that Green Arrow and Daredevil on it. So that might be another one I have trouble just sticking with one or two covers.
We won't talk about it because
Okay.
I ordered.
Okay.
It got expensive, and I shouldn't have spent the money. But yeah, I can't imagine myself having not done what I done. That me, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, Jay. One of the things we've been talking about on this show now that for the last week and now this week, what we're catching up on, what we're watching on television, how we spend our weekend media wise and nerdy wise.
Yeah. So this past, this Saturday we had the Hydra hangout. I got to interview a guy that should have been the first person on the show when we started doing them. And that's Mr. Edward Davis from Finish Line Comics. He had a Kickstarter for his Immortal Era number 11 out, and got to bring him on a show. Me, Nope, and Ed had a great time talking about the book. Had a great conversation. You know, of course, it wouldn't be a show without Jenna coming in and taking over for a little bit, and her and Ed and the group they had a blast while I was, delegated to walking down the hall or something until she was done. But
Yeah, I tuned in and it was you and Jenna going over a Kickstarter.
yeah, I think Ed had to leave. Ed Davis had to leave, so I was like, well, we're going to go through the prices and stuff on your Kickstarter since you got to go. But he hung out for quite a bit, and it was a really great time. And before that, once again, I've been doing my rewatch of The Boys, and I made it to like season 3, episode 8, and then didn't finish or season 3, episode 7, and didn't finish the season finale until today before the shows. So
I watched all of Wednesday. Well, the first half of Wednesday. But before I started, I went to Wendy's and got they have a Wednesday meal.
Mm-hmm.
All I got was the Frosty.
Okay.
Vanilla. Trust me, if you go to Wendy's to get the Frosty for the Wednesday meal, get the vanilla Frosty. I know it sounds like sacrilege, but with the syrup they put on it, much better than the chocolate. I have experience, I can tell you. But man, I'll be honest, there's a struggle with Wednesday. Which is that it isn't the Addams Family. Like, the thing about the Addams Family is that they had a very specific tone, a very specific kind of thing. And Wednesday was part of it. Wednesday is a very different show that just uses the Addams Family as the chess pieces on the board. This series, the first series in this series, is much more freak of the week rather than the weirdness of the family.
Yeah.
Like, the originals were about this really weird family, and yeah, Wednesday was a big part of that story, but it was about the family as a whole. This is still about the family as a whole, but it's like the whole world around them is weird rather than they're the weird thing in the world.
Yeah, I see that.
And that makes it a little bit difficult. Not in a bad way, just in a way that where it's not, it definitely feels different. Has anybody else watched Wednesday? Has anybody else got any opinions on it? I'm gonna turn my camera off real quick. I got to do a thing.
Yeah, we did the first season in one go. We loved it. I mean, this was a show that even my mom, who doesn't like a lot of things, she watched it and she really liked it. I think part of the thing that's strange to me is you go back to the John Aston show, and it was the weird family and outsiders came in. Wednesday feels like them and them going out to the people. Like, you have the whole school full of special people, but it just feels
the whole school is
weird.
outcasts.
Yeah.
Right. It's this outcast versus normies sort of, and Ed, I think you would really quite enjoy it. But it's this idea of outcasts, and everybody, they're different They have different abilities. Werewolves. What are the things that have the snakes for the heads? Medusa is one of them. Anyway, you have people who can levitate things. Wednesday's a psychic, although I think that's a little bit of a spoiler. All together, and then this whole big group.
Yep.
It is on Netflix. Anyhow, it's this whole big group going out and interacting with civilians or normies.
Yeah.
Well, if you have too many of the outcasts, then the normies are actually the outsiders. Yeah, Gorgons, thank you.
Syndrome said it best. When everyone's special, no one is. When everyone's weird, no one is. When
Right.
everyone has powers, no one's super.
Right. So like the idea of it being the weirdos versus the regulars is fine, but the regulars have to outnumber the weirdos. So it's a tough one. I'm really enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing season 2 in 2 bits. So they did the first 4 episodes now, and the next 4 episodes come out September 3rd. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, but it's kind of hard to watch because it's like, again, freak of the week. It's all of these things that are just like, this is not what the Addams Family is.
First season kind of felt a little like a detective show with monsters.
Right. And thus far, they've tried to capture that in the second series, but they haven't quite gotten it there yet. Right? Because they're only 4 of 8 in. Like, there is a mystery, there is a thing, but like, I don't know what happens in episode 5, so I can't say have they solved the mystery at the end of episode 4, or does it continue? What does that, like these individual pieces mean? Which is, again, I think the benefit to having it all come out at once instead of in halves. Like, had it all come out at once, I might be sitting here going, actually, there's a really good detective story, but sort of a middling creature story, or a really good creature story was sort of a middling detective story. As it is now, it's a not great detective story with a okay creature story. Ed Wednesday is like a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
Pugsley in season 2 is a freshman, and I'll be honest, best part of the show. Pugsley or Gomez? It's kind of a hard pick at this point. Both pretty great. So, all right.
Luis Guzman as Gomez is the portrayal I never knew I needed. Like,
well, and he's so much more involved in season 2.
Oh, that's great.
So is Kirk Douglas's wife,
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Douglas's wife.
Yeah,
Catherine Zeta-Jones. She is way more involved in season 2 thus far. Hell, even Lurch is more involved in season 2. I will say this, and this is a minor spoiler. Episode 4 is one of the greatest Uncle Fester stories. I don't know. Never seen Anger Management, but Luis Guzman is great in everything he does.
Yes.
I
really dig the casting for the family.
Yeah, very believable. Very believable as Gomez. We're going to find out that Pedro Pascal plays Thing, TJ. But Yes,
Breaking
Fred
Bad.
Armisen is Uncle Fester. So good.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
At episode 4.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the TV show Anger Management.
Oh,
Movie
yeah.
Anger Management.
I forgot they
Yes.
made a TV
Then
show.
yes. So. Uh-huh. Like I said, great representation of Gomez Adams.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, at this point, for me, it's John Aston, then Luis Guzman, then anyone else.
Yeah. I gotta put Raul Julia up there. Even if he's the
See, I don't
third.
like those movies.
No?
No.
Hmm.
Oh, does Thing have a mustache? No, Eddie. Sorry.
No, but I like how they have him though.
Yeah. Oh my God. There is can I give another minor spoiler for season 2?
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene where Thing gets drunk.
Yes.
Like, how does that even work? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we're excited. We're excited. The thing is, we're probably gonna wait because Jenna is very much she doesn't like to start something and have to stop because then she'll never watch the rest of it. So we're probably gonna have to wait. That's like, the boys, the first season they dropped the whole thing. So we watched it straight through. And then when they did that 3 episodes and then once a week, we waited until the season got finished.
had I known this is how they were doing it, I would not have started yet.
Mm.
Now there is some because so one of the things, and this is kind of the direction the show is going to go, is we're going to talk about other things we're doing. You guys know, if you've been around a minute, you guys know I'm also the producer of the International Edgar Allan Poe Festival and Awards in Baltimore, Maryland, which is one of my other clients, one of my other side jobs. A couple of years ago, I think was it the year you guys came when we had the Wednesday themed Black Cat Ball where it was everybody got Nevermore high school patches and
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So
I remember that.
we've kind of, because Edgar Allan Poe has a big role and in Wednesday we've kind of incorporated some Wednesday concepts into Poe Fest. So I needed to watch it because we're planning Poe Fest. We're working on stuff for Poe Fest, and like the Frosty I went and got. We may or may not be doing something similar for one of our events at Poe Fest. Because that's a pretty good idea. Hey caterer, can we do an ice cream thing? No.
But I will tell you this, Ed, as always, you should watch it for yourself
Yep.
because you might have a different opinion.
Yep.
Wow, the Count of Monte Cristo.
You should absolutely watch this for yourself, form your own opinions based on your own relationship with the characters and the books and the stories. When I say I was glad it's over, that is me with my relationship with those characters and those stories. And Ed, I'm happy to explain things from season 2 as well, especially if you guys have questions. But the circumstances surrounding the making of season 2 created a problem for the storytelling of season 2 that I don't think season 2 could really overcome, Ed. And unfortunately, that led to what I felt was a slightly underwhelming and problematic season 2. That said, I'm also the guy who's still angry about Captain America Civil War for not being Civil War. I am not your average viewer. So that's something. thereabouts, Ed. I wouldn't say it picks up right after, but it picks up pretty quickly after. Okay. So we talked about Wednesday. We talked about The Boys. Oh, also I finished Leverage and moved on to Leverage Redemption because I need big dumb shows to keep my mind occupied while I'm working on stuff for the EXP. Unknown, I will comment to this. The reason I didn't care for it is purely situational. I think the storytelling and the methodology by which they told the stories was phenomenal. I think, however, the situation under which the series was done this time is what has caused the problem. When you go from a series that should run 5, 6, 7 seasons and have to wrap it up in 2 because, again, of situations, you find yourself having to tell stories poorly, doing the best you can with what you have. And I think that's what's happened here. Having to skip some of the best stories ever written in comics in order to fit everything they needed to fit into one season, a certain number of episodes, rather than being able to run it as long as they needed to. And that's an interesting thing. Ironically, we were talking about watching Leverage, and I mentioned watching Leverage, and I watched Sandman, and now Wednesday. All 3 shows are affected by having a major player in those shows unavailable for the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all know what went down that caused Sandman to get canceled, to be ended. The reason the main actor in Leverage didn't come back is the same thing. And there's a pretty significant character from Wednesday season 1 who is not in Wednesday season 2 because of the same thing. Ironically, all 3 shows, rather than just ignoring those things, have referenced them but minimized them. So, for instance, in Sandman, the person who led to the show being ended is still given credit, but that's it. Their name isn't everywhere like it was on season 1. In Leverage, the actor who is no longer in the show, they killed him. They make his death a pretty significant motivator for the characters, especially one of those characters, but he dead. That's how they explain why he's not in it. Oh, and by the way, they replaced him with Noah Wiley, who's great because in one episode he pretends to be a doctor, and in one episode they have to protect a librarian, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty great. Anyway, there's one episode of Leverage Redemption where LeVar Burton plays a spy who's been on off the grid and undercover as a town librarian for 30 years. It's the most badass LeVar Burton I've ever seen. Just throwing it out there.
Really?
Yeah. But then in Wednesday, they reference the character that's no longer in the show. And you see Wednesday actively protesting this character. This character sent her a cell phone. She throws it in a boiling cauldron. This character sent her some art. She destroys the art. She's actively kind of combating this character, which is I think a good way to handle it. So it's just interesting to see how those things would have been handled in these 3 shows when in the past, when you'd have stuff like this, those people just disappear and not be referenced. So it's something to think about. Jay, should we talk about stuff that's happening here at the EXP?
Yes.
What should we start with?
Oh,
The thing I worked 40 hours on this weekend?
yes. I want to know.
Well, there's not a whole lot to tell. I will probably see this movie before I see Superman. I'm just saying. At this point, like, I'm going to go to the movies one day and see Naked Gun, then Superman, then Fantastic Four. But probably in that order. By the way, shout out to Pam and Liam Neeson for, like, finding each other in this thing. They both deserve to be happy. They've gone through some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy for them. Throw that out there. Yeah, so there's not a whole lot to tell yet, Jay. I mean, like, I sent you the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
I've generated a lot of paper, but there's not a lot to really to talk about yet. But I will tell everyone, save the date for September 27th and pray for Jay and I. If it'll give you a reference, I had to send out an email today that had links to EXP Expo 1, the original when we launched the channel, EXP Expo 3, which was the last EXP Expo we did, our AAPI event that we did with Ming and Amy Chu, and Batman Day. So, just save the date for September 27th. It's local comic shop day. If you don't have a local comic shop, try and find a local comic shop by then. Comicshoplocator.com is still working. You can also go to mycomic.store. I think.
It's been so long since we talked about it, I forgot what the site was.
Yeah, hold on, I'll find it. Let's see. Come on. I'm digging. Here you go. It's findyourcomic.store. Findyourcomic.store. Find a local comic shop nearby you and be prepared for local comic shop day. A lot of the EXP shows will be participating that day as well. Got a lot happening. I've generated a lot of paper. So we're working on that. The other thing that I can talk about just a little bit. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, you should maybe tune into Comic Industry Insiders Live. There will be some announcements made there that you all, as viewers of the EXP, may find interesting. It's tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern on Comic Industry Insiders Live. So you should maybe tune in for that one. Then I will say this. I don't know who's going to be on FOC on Friday. But I do know who's going to be on FOC September 5th. There's a book coming out in October that people have been waiting for a real long time. And the artist of this book will be joining us September 5th on the FOC show. I was telling Jay before the show that I've seen pages from this particular book that you all have been waiting, that a lot of people have been waiting for a really long time. Anyway, so that artist will be joining us to talk about that book on September the 5th.
That's awesome.
Very excited for that. So that'll be a good episode to tune into. Yeah, that was it. I mean, that's kind of the big things that I've been working on. Jay has been keeping the trains running on time, keeping the shows on the air, keeping everything kind of smooth over here while I focus on all of the other stuff.
Yeah.
John Stout, it is not. It is very much not. It is so not that it is in fact not a DC book. It's also not a Marvel book. Anyhow, yeah, so Jay has been really focused on keeping the trains running on time. Danny is handling all of our social media. And that has allowed me to step away and focus on some other things, or step back a little bit and focus on some other things that really involve keeping us around, keeping the EXP going. It's becoming harder and harder and harder on to do the channel. Only just because, again, the economic state of the world and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, it's getting harder for everyone to do anything. Like, hell, what did I read? Some of your biggest grocery chains are struggling to get groceries. Like, thank God we got Jay out of the Kroger when we did, or they might be serving him in the freezer rather than frozen goods.
Yeah.
Like, just saying. So it's allowed me to step away and focus on helping the channel grow, helping the channel move forward, and helping to do some things that we've been saying we're going to do for a long time. So, it's like Unknown's question, right? Guys, I want you guys to show up and just ask us your questions, like, for real, on these shows. The whole point of us being here is to kind of answer your questions, to kind of give you a little bit of insight into what's happening and why it's happening, and to answer your questions. So if you have them, let me know.
Yeah.
Happy to answer them. And, we'll just kind of keep rolling, I guess. So with that, does anybody have any questions? Is anyone still angry at me for trying to recast Lord of the Rings last Wednesday?
Oh,
because I'll be honest, I got a very angry phone call from a friend after the show. No, I'll be honest, I have less than zero interest in this movie.
I mean,
if someone were to send me a free ticket, I would go, because I'd rather go to the movies than not go to the movies. But I have less than no interest in that film. The EXP is okay, but everyone is in a scary spot. Right? There is no business in comics that is not in a scary position right now, Ed. Local comic shops are in a scary position because they're having to struggle with distribution. Publishers are in a scary position because they're having to struggle with distribution. Distributors are in a scary position because they're having to sort of navigate a constantly changing world, and they're having to scale sometimes faster than they should. Right? You have creators who aren't getting paid because publishers aren't getting paid. That's one of the things I will say this for Nick and Dynamite, right? Nick has always made sure that his creators are paid, even when the company itself is not getting paid. Right? Nick has always stood up and done the right thing on that. Not every publisher has done that. There is an upheaval right now in the comic book business that has everybody on shaky footing. That said, we are on while we're on shaky footing, we also somehow managed to be the brothers Karamazov or Robin's family, like before they got killed and became Batman's whatever. Um, well, I didn't talk about this unknown, but there was a lot of fallout at Gen Con from the Alliance distribution stuff. So yeah, I mean it's all over. And again, tariffs are affecting everything because so much of the product we sell in this business is imported, is made other places because it's so much cheaper. Um, Printing a comic in Canada costs almost double, or printing a trade in Canada costs almost double what printing a trade in China costs already. And then you add tariffs on, and it becomes a whole thing. So,
Oh man.
yeah. And this is happening. Like, shops are getting away from selling new books. Now, I will say this, John. I think, and we talked about this a little bit on Comic Industry Insiders. Um, there are a lot of shops that are going this direction that I think will go back. I think there are a lot of shops that are like, you know what, I'm going to focus on back issues. I'm going to focus on collectibles. I'm going to focus on other things until the world calms down and then switch. Right? When I can get back to I only have to deal with 2 distributors, I can deal with everything through a POS rather than things constantly changing, I think people will switch back. I don't think somebody who has built a business on selling new comics is going to be able to survive not selling new comics. But they might be able to survive for a while not selling new comics. Where are comics mostly printed? Well, here's the interesting thing. A lot of Marvel and DC product is printed in Canada. Almost all of it is printed in Canada. Once you get smaller than that, most singles are printed in Canada. There are several printers here in the United States that print singles, but most trades are printed offset in China or someplace else. So, you know, it's a whole thing. Most of it's not printed domestically though. Yeah, Portland's a great area to be. Who is your? Oh, is your LCS? Oh, I've been following. Tell me who your LCS was, John. We were just talking. Was it the Cave? Um, Let me know because I've been following that. That's pretty nice. Yes, tariffs all around. Ed, to answer your question, oh, Disc Heroes. I don't know that shop. Interesting. Oh, you said not to be selling new anymore. I was following a shop from the Portland area that just went out of business. So, um, yeah, I think again the EXP is on not on solid footing, but we are also very nimble and able to adjust and fly and run around the outside of that big ring they have at the circus rather than run around on the inside of it. Um, um, so we're in better shape than most because we're not so reliant on those systems. That said, So much of our reliance comes from people who are reliant on those systems. So it's one of those kind of.
Yeah.
There was a conversation had about that, TJ, not that long ago, that was very interesting, and it's why I had gotten back on there. That conversation fell apart pretty quickly, and it's why I haven't been on there. So, all right. Any other questions?
Merch store can be reached through the website.
Yeah, theexplive.com has all of our links and stuff. You can buy our merch. If you go to the web store and you buy a poster or a piece of art, that is all Mel and Mog. That supports them directly. Mel took on the lead of putting that all together, so most of that is supporting Mel. If you go to the explive.com though, and you go to our merch store, and you buy like a "This Is My Mel" cosplay T-shirt or any of the other T-shirts on there, Jay and Silent Kyle is on there. Any of the other T-shirts on there, that all goes to support us. Ed, it's great. You can keep trying to talk him into it. At the moment, we are not in the position to bring anybody else on. We are working with Castle and his store, but they will be about it right now. Part of the reason we're able to adjust and adapt as fast as we are is that I am pretty. What's the word I'm looking for, Jay?
Manic? I don't know what you're trying to say.
Pretty stringent on the hours.
Oh, there you
So
go.
adding a whole bunch of stuff isn't really in our best interest at the moment. Obviously, if you can get Jay and I off the air by bringing new stuff to the channel, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
But and I know who you're talking about, Ed, and I'd love to have them, but it's one of those things is they'd have to come on essentially and replace one of the existing shows that Jay and I do, and I don't know that that would work for them. So, all right. Any other questions? And some
Yes.
of this that we're talking about right now, you will get answers tomorrow at 1 o'clock on Comic Industry Insiders Live.
Because as much as I love hanging out with folks and everything, the less I'm on camera, kind of the better. Because it also means I got stuff behind the scenes I can work on. But
Mhm.
like I love hanging out with folks. Don't get me wrong. I love just sitting here and talking and getting to know folks in the chat and everything. But I also think it'd be so great if we had another show in this spot right here that I could be producing behind the scenes and still talking to y'all in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Right. So the original one,
Not the new one. It's
no,
just called I Know What You Did Last Summer.
those movies weren't good when I was 9.
Oh.
Scary Movie was scarier than that movie. The Scream episode of Boy Meets World was scarier than I Know What You Did Last Summer.
And then there was Sean.
It's true. It's called And Then There Was Sean. They just reviewed that episode on the Pod Meets World podcast. Mm-hmm. What would I think of some sort of relationship between? Listen, TJ, if it's me and anybody else, it ain't gonna happen. Okay. My last relationship ended because I was a workaholic. I don't think a new one's gonna work out for the same reason.
Oh
I
goodness.
kind of want to know how he's going to end the sentence now. Um, As I am not directly involved with either company, I'm not going to speak to it, but I don't think it makes sense for either company. I will say this, Brian from Managed Comics is working on some really cool stuff that is Managed Comics related and is outside of Managed Comics related. Adam from Prana is working on some cool stuff that is Prana related, Prana client related, Recca related, but also some stuff that is outside of that. So there are people in the business who are doing really good work. I'm another one of those people, but I'm not in a position to really talk about that stuff yet. Where we're doing things inside the business, but outside of our own companies, to sort of bolster things around here, things in the business. But again, it's sort of a weird kind of what can you talk about, what can't you talk about, what's available, what's not, sort of dilemma. But I will say this: my conversations with the folks at Overstreet is that they're not going anywhere. That they have a plan to continue. They weren't part of the auction, but they are also wildly understaffed at the moment. So we'll wait and see, but I know they are going to continue. I can't tell you how I know that. I am sworn to secrecy. Ed, you can write us a check with a bunch of zeros on the end of it.
Oh.
No, right now, guys, all you can do, the best thing you can do, and this has always been the best thing you can do. Yeah, perfect. Well, then you know what I know, TJ. So, in that case, TJ knows what I already know, so that I don't really need to go into detail on that. No, the best thing you guys can do is tell your friends about the EXP. Get more people here. Share. Tune in as often as possible to every show. Chat on every show. When you can afford to super chat. All of those things. Share. Those are the most important things. The better our numbers are. Like this is the thing that, and I don't ever talk about this. I hate talking about this. There are certain numbers that I look at every week. There are certain numbers that I look at once a week. There are certain numbers that I look at once a month. The better those numbers are, the higher they are, the more people watch, the more people tune in, the more longer people watch, the more comments people give, the more super chats we get, the more of these things, the more interactive this community becomes, the better off we will be long term. That is just the plain and simple of it. And I can't really expound upon that without getting into things that I can't talk about. But just, it's why, guys, when you see me commenting on shows, I'm commenting from a different account than the EXP account. A lot of times, like, I don't know if you guys know this, but like in this room where I'm at home, I have a big TV right there. Well, a lot of times when I'm sitting here producing a show, on that TV is the show I'm producing. So just because the numbers help, like anything, any of that kind of sharing, tuning in as often as possible, commenting a lot, staying on topic, not getting wildly off topic and taking shows off course is always super helpful.
Yeah.
Supporting the shows that are on. I see more and more of you showing up like on Geek Chat.
Oh, I love that.
It's a great show. It's a great show. Rich and Dez really do love comics, and Rich is a personality that just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And I love that about him. So tuning into these shows, purchasing on these shows, coming. Here's a big one. Tuning into FOC and what's a minute to skim it. And if there's a review of something you like, going and buying that thing at your local shop. And then talking about, oh, hey, the EXP told me, or the EXP talked about it. Showing up on Minute to Skim It and talking about the books. Even if Miss Jen and Shanice aren't reading books that you're super interested in, showing up and talking about the books they are talking about, asking them questions, giving them someone to respond to. So showing up on that show and doing that, those are shows that help us get noticed in the industry, right? Those are shows that publishers check out. Those are shows that potential sponsors check out. So tuning into shows like that, showing up to Geek Chat, showing up to Melon Mog, showing up for Jay and I on Wednesday. Those shows really help too because they're easy. They're shows that are different every week. It's not just a sales show where somebody's holding up books. It's not just the same 3 giveaways, the same 20 products, the same inside jokes. I love Henri's show, but he makes the same jokes every freaking week. Those shows are different all the time. So tuning into those and watching the whole show, that super helps. But then going and supporting Hydrasylum, going and supporting Weird Dope, going and supporting K-Pop Junkie, going and supporting Bronze and Big B and all those guys, going and supporting Robbie. All of that helps us in the end because all of those guys, even in their small ways, are pointing back to us at some point. I don't know if you know this, TJ, but Liam is actually wrapping up their tenure at the shop. And it's not because they haven't seen The Godfather, although I think it's probably a factor.
I
think it's probably a factor. It might not be much of one, but I think it's probably a little bit one. Anyway, yeah, 2 more weeks, correct. So again, supporting all those shops, following their channels, supporting their channels, and then pointing people back to us always helps. So that's the best thing you can do, guys. The higher our numbers get, the better our numbers get, the easier it will be for the EXP to last forever.
Yeah,
That said, we ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I tell people all the time when we're doing the Hydra Hangouts, I was like, look, I push the experience, not just because it's what I do, it's because even if I didn't produce shows for this network, I would still watch the shows on this network. Like, this honestly sounds super biased coming from me. Okay, I get that. But if I didn't work here, I'd watch everything here. Like, when I tell y'all that I think that some of the shows we have on this network are some of the most underrated shows, I mean that 100%. I talk about the Geek Chat all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that their numbers are climbing literally just makes me so happy. I'm so happy to see that folks that I believe have just quality shows are starting to get a little bit of that traction. Like, that makes me so happy seeing that, because we're a network of folks, and when one of our shows does great, it feels like we all kind of do great.
Yeah.
So, like, I push it on Hydra Hangout just because, like, again, it's weird coming from me. I know a lot of people think, well, you work there, so of course you're going to talk about it. Even if I didn't, I'd still talk about it.
Right. The other thing that's a big one, and that's becoming more and more prevalent in things we talk about, if you're on a sales show, buy stuff. Like, I get that not everybody has disposable income all the time. When you can, buy stuff. But when you can't, make sure you aren't taking the show off topic, aren't keeping people from buying stuff. I know it's a weird thing to ask, but it's a thing that matters. And that's not to say don't comment, don't talk. We definitely want you to comment and talk. But these shows they're doing this of their own free will. They're doing this of their own volition. They're not, any money they make on those shows is what they get paid for doing this. So letting them make money, helping them make money is super important. Ed, I know exactly why this happened. I don't know that I could do anything to change it if I brought it back. But that's a conversation for another day. So, any other questions? Anything else we want to talk about real fast before we let Jay go to the bathroom and get ready for Bronze and Big B show? What's the topic of Bronze and Big B
Oh
show
man,
today?
it's gonna be good. So they're doing like a summer movie review. So they're gonna be talking about Lilo and Stitch. Like you can't watch the show, man. They're gonna be Lilo and Stitch, the Jurassic Park movie, Rebirth, whatever it's called, Fantastic Four, and Superman. So you're gonna have to sit this one out.
Scarlett Johansson in.
The Jurassic World, or is it Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, folks? I can't remember.
She was in the Dumb Dinosaur movie.
Yeah.
All right. Jay,
Might
should
be
we
the
show
reason.
him before we leave? Should we show him the thumbnail for guys? Something happened today. Jay and I get along really well almost all the time, but today something happened and it's just got me pissed off. And I'm gonna show you and see if you could figure out why I'm angry. Who recognizes the movie?
Oh. Might be a tough one.
What movie this is from? I get that it's a toughie.
Oh,
Mr. Nope got it.
and unknown. Good job.
Yeah, and unknown. Yep, it's Tango and Cash. Jay says to me in a chat, I see myself as a Kurt Russell type.
Oh, goodness.
So I want to be Cash. Nobody wants to be Tango. I don't have to get angry about this stuff, but why do I have to be Tango? Is it because Tango wore glasses? No, you wear glasses too. This is unfair. Unfair.
And folks, if you have never seen Tango and Cash, Kurt Russell, Sylvester Stallone, awesome movie. I love that movie.
Right. The fact that Jay sees himself as potentially Snake Plissken-esque.
Jack, Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh God, it's been so long since I've seen it. Nope. We were both talking about this. Yes. Tango was Stallone. But it's glasses Stallone.
Oh, Last Boy Scout's a good one too.
Anyhow. I need to rewatch the movie is all I'm saying. I haven't seen it in a lot of years. So maybe that's what I'll do. We'll see. But no, so guys, tune in Wednesday night for Kyle and Jay's Q&A where we will be, I don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about something. But we will do that.
Checks in the
on
mail.
Wednesday. Tomorrow at 1, Comic Industry Insiders Live. You're going to want to tune in, especially for that part of, like, how is the experience doing, part of the conversation we had tonight. Tune in tomorrow at 1. You'll find out more. Plus, we're going to talk about Kickstarters and the direct market. It's going to be a fun episode with some really great guests. Then, tomorrow night, Minute to Skim It. I will show everybody. I want to show everybody the Welcome to Wonderland thumbnail.
Ooh.
Because I think it will get people to tune into Welcome to Wonderland. If you don't tune into Welcome to Wonderland, that dog will be sad.
Oh, butterscotch.
Right. Butterscotch will be sad if you don't tune into Welcome to Wonderland tomorrow at 8.
Oh,
It's sci-fi, or it's fantasy week. So they got Usagi, Jimbo, Sailor Moon, The Siege, Curse Words, Grim Fairy Tales, and some others. So make sure you tune into Welcome to Wonderland. Yeah, I have a problem. That music's going to wind up going away here pretty soon, Ed. It'll be replaced by something similar, but I can no longer license that song. So Wonderland tomorrow at 8, and then Kicking It with Henri tomorrow night at 10. Then Wednesday, Comic Collectibles with Rex is back. Then Kyle and Jay's Q&A, where we will be talking about something. Then Wednesday, Miss Jen has some major keys. Major keys.
Thursday, he means, folks. Thursday.
Whatever the next day is. The day after Wednesday. Time is an illusion. Time is a flat circle. Time is a construct made up by the man to keep us down. Anyway. But no, Miss Jen, What's in the Box has some major keys. The Geek Chat will be back for an hour and a half starting at 8:30 Eastern. They have some pretty cool books they're going to be talking about. I'm excited to hear what they think of. Then Mel and Mog will be back at 10 o'clock. Mel and Mog with the SketchUp show they are having. Please hold while I scroll up and tell you. Carissa Grant returns with Worthy Chaos, which is on Kickstarter right now. And we get a better look at Jason Metcalf's work as well. Plus Mr. Fish, who seems like he's on the show every 3 weeks. So make sure you check out SketchUp Thursday night at 10. And then Friday at 1 o'clock, Matthias and I will be back with the FOC show with a guest that is TBD because we can't look at what's on FOC next week yet. That happens after midnight. Then Nick will be here with the original art show. Nick has he sent me some really cool stuff for the art show that I don't but I do know there will be a giveaway because the Original Art Experience Facebook group got to 500 people.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty significant giveaway. And then Nancy will be back, as always, Friday Night Live with Comics Unlimited with Nancy McCann. Friday after this past Friday after the show, Jay and I and Nancy sat around and talked till almost midnight.
Yep.
It probably happens more weeks than you think. So, tune into all of those shows, and then next week we'll have a whole bunch of stuff. We'll be back here next Monday night with the second shift lunch, where maybe Jay will finally bring food. We'll see.
I think so.
Be good to each other.